If you are a frequent flyer, here's good news. Digi Yatra will soon be available for international travelers before the end of 2025. The makeover plans include using the app for hotel check-ins and hassle-free access to public places. Digi Yatra Foundation will integrate soon-to-be-launched chip-enabled electronic passports into the app. As well as Digi Yatra Foundation is now in talks with various stakeholders to ensure automated border control practices for both departure as well as arrival immigration, which means automatic immigration clearance upon arrival and departure without the need for physical passport verification. These are, of course, changes in making, may happen soon, and the Digi Yatra Foundation is clearly working towards them. With me is Kartik Malhotra here in the studios. Kartik, hi. What does this really mean for you and me? So if we are to, let's say, travel to Singapore tomorrow, and if this were to be implemented, no more standing in queues?
I mean, the queues would definitely be shorter, because how many Indians in a flight to Singapore would actually have Digi Yatra is the bigger question. And if all of us on a flight to Singapore have the Digi Yatra app, then the queue at the Digi Yatra kiosk becomes that much longer, as opposed to the regular queue. So you might actually end up taking the regular channel. But I think on a more serious note, while the technology and while the foundation of the technology and its multiple uses seem fairly lucrative, I think what Digi Yatra Foundation must do, and I think what would serve in the better interest of the government, would also be to actually keep a one-arm distance between the government of India and Digi Yatra. So, I think a misnomer out there is that Digi Yatra is actually a government organization.
Which
it is not. Right. It's a foundation. It's a foundation run by a private sector company, and up until very
recently.
With the
Airports Authority of
Absolutely.
India.
So, they tie up specifically with airports, and it is that, the confluence happens at an airport level with Digi Yatra Foundation.
Right.
While it has the blessings of the government, and the government has pretty much supported it in making itself available at as many airports as possible, and in fact, even Digi Yatra Foundation adds airports pretty much every month as it goes along, it hasn't been, free of controversy itself.
Right.
So, as late as last week, in fact, there was a report, and a fairly credible report, which cited that a vendor which Digi Yatra was using earlier, called Data Evolve, a Hyderabad-based IT company, has actually breached on multiple counts of data violation. And that is something which obviously goes against the whole spirit of including technology to make life simple. Now, obviously, Data Evolve has now been kicked out of the Digi Yatra Foundation, and there's a new vendor on board. And in a very, very simple tweet, all that Digi Yatra told customers to do was uninstall the old application on their phones, search for the new Digi Yatra application and install that application, which pretty much meant that the control of the old Digi Yatra app was also held hostage by perhaps Data Evolve. And it required a new interface and a new app to be built. And who has the data which the old app developer actually used is still a question mark. While Digi Yatra says it is on the mobile phone of every passenger who installed Digi Yatra, there are some reports which are suggesting that Data Evolve, the partner that Digi Yatra was using earlier, may well have access to all that data.
All right, and I happen to be one of them who actually downloaded the new
same here,
app.
Unfortunately.
So we don't know who has the data for the old application, but as far as the new sort of mandate, or not really the mandate, come to think of it,
new use cases
emerging for Digi Yatra, it is looking to go beyond just national travelers. It will soon have international travelers using Digi Yatra, perhaps also enable e-passport to be integrated onto its website to make the check-ins, check-outs easier for moving between countries.